In our last video, we covered maximum likelihood estimation of the nested logit model and talked about different ways that we can proceed with that estimation. In this video, I wanted to briefly develop some intuition for a critical part of the nested logit model, which is the inclusive value term. This term captures the expected utility of the value of having the option to choose a choice within a given nest, and it has a natural connection with dynamic choice models, which we'll cover in future videos. If we go back to the previous video where we talked about inclusive value, you might recall that we had a term I sub ib, which was the log of the sum of the exponentials of the conditional utilities of choosing a red or blue bus given that a bus was chosen. In this case, we normalized the utility of blue bus given bus to be 0, so it turns into a 1 inside the log. And then in the last video, we talked about lambda times I sub ib plus Euler's constant being the expected utility of writing a bus from the standpoint of the upper nest. In essence, we can think of this as expressing the expected value of the lambda times epsilon error component that differentiates utility across the alternatives within a nest. Now let's make an analogy to a dynamic model where there's no discounting of the future. In the first period, we can choose to ride a bus or take our car to work, and there's extreme value errors on both options. And we can capture something that is similar to option value by thinking about any additional value we might get from choosing a particular color of bus, red or blue. And we're going to take into account this additional option value at the time that we're choosing bus versus car. And then in the second period, the bus errors, if we chose bus, are type 1 extreme value, and they're independent from each other and the first period errors. And this second period decision has an expected value that's equal to lambda times the inclusive value plus Euler's constant. So that's just a little bit of intuition about where this inclusive value term comes from and how we can think about it and have a little bit more intuition for what it's representing. In the next video, we'll go through an example of how real recent economics papers use the nested logit model to make more credible policy prescriptions and analyses. And we'll specifically go through a US federal funded program that provides airline flights to people in rural areas. It's a really fun paper, so I hope to see you then.